Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm reporting to you guys live and direct from my new YouTube set in my new apartment because we've been waiting quite a while to get into a new apartment so we can work freely and give you guys the best content that you deserve. But I'll give you guys a little mini tour of my new set that I'm working on right now. So we got the Earl Spence Fighting Mad T-shirt here, and then we got my credentials from the NBA and boxing here. Gonna be adding some more to this very soon. Got the Muhammad Ali Fighting Mad shirt. You know what I'm saying? Got the Joe Calzaghe Fighting Mad shirt. Everlast Punching Bag and the Manny Pacquiao Fighting Mad shirt. And you know the Fighting Mad shirts will always change, but they're just there to advertise the fine folks at Fighting Mad who have been helping me, helping this channel. So go to fightingmad.com and purchase a T-shirt of one of your favorite fighters. These are just a model of some of the shirts that I like that I bought. So yeah, shout out to Fighting Mad and go over there and pick yourself up a shirt, a hoodie, or a sweatshirt. But I wanted to talk about, because we have quite a lot to talk about when it comes to boxing. You know, there's quite a lot to discuss in regards to boxing because there's a lot of BS, there's a lot of malarkey, and we will use the word malarkey because there's a lot of bullshit going on in the sport of boxing, particularly in the case of the World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC, as it was reported. Because if you guys haven't been listening to the boxing news, if you've been living under a rock with Patrick down there in Bikini Bottom, all right, the WBC has recently reported that they are naming Vasyl Lomachenko to the franchise champion, which means that they are upgrading Devin Haney to the full champion. Now, for those of you who do not know what this is, to be honest with you, I can't even explain what it is. All I know is it's a bunch of bullshit because it's gonna muddy up the waters at lightweight. Now, before this was announced, you know, it looked like we were on a collision course to getting an undisputed lightweight champion, and that's been the talk with Vasyl Lomachenko, that you know he wants to go undisputed, that he has to go undisputed. He won't go up or down because he has to go undisputed at lightweight before he does anything. So we were awaiting the winner of Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Commey on December 14th, and the winner of fight Vasyl Lomachenko for the chance to become the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. But now that he's a franchise champion, and now that Devin Haney is now technically a world champion, this muddies up the waters. And even if Top Rank Boxing and Top Rank Incorporated decide to still go ahead and pursue the same direction, the same path of putting Lomachenko versus the winner of the December 14th IBF title fight between Richard Commey and Teofimo Lopez. Now, even if no matter who wins that fight, whether it's Lomachenko or Commey or Lopez, you can't really consider any of those guys the undisputed lightweight champion if you got Devin Haney's hand in the cookie jar and he's now the WBC full champion. So it's really horrible. And the thing is this, what makes it look even worse, because for those of you who don't know, the annual WBC convention, which I had a chance to go to a couple of years ago because it was in my hometown, but they had it this year in Mexico. It literally just happened this past week. During the middle of the week, the WBC convention was going on, and at the WBC convention, they always have a thing there where they review the ratings. So they had these big meetings where they review the ratings, and you get the managers and the promoters and all the people who are trying to get their fighters up in the rankings. They meet at this meeting and they lobby for their fighters to either be pushed up, down the rankings. They argue for other fighters to move down the rankings. It's basically just one big pissing contest to see whose fighter can get there in the rankings. Okay, so with that being said, at that ratings meeting, it was requested on behalf of Top Rank Incorporated. You know, Top Rank, Bob Arum, Bruce Trampler, Brad Goodman, all the fine folks over there. It was requested by Top Rank that Lomachenko be elevated to franchise champion, and they honored the request of Top Rank, which means that Devin Haney is now a world champion because he's now elevated to world champion without having to earn it, without having to fight Lomachenko for it, without and now he's no longer the mandatory. So now he's now a champion. Lomachenko's a champion. We're all champions. It's like Oprah when Oprah was handing out cars. You get a car. You get a brand new car. You get a brand new car. Just everybody gets a belt. I get a belt. You get a belt. Everybody on YouTube gets a belt. We all get belts. But it's really bad. It's really horrible for the boxing that this happened, because of the fact that, you know, the move, first of all, it looks bad on Top Rank because they're really screwing not just with themselves, they're screwing with Lomachenko because I know that they're going to try to spin the narrative like if they still, because it's been reported that they're still going to go the same route. They're still going to go, you know, fight the winner of Cormier versus Lopez. The direction is still the same, and that's already been confirmed by the vice president of Top Rank, Carl Moretti. He said that they're going to still go ahead and continue to line Lomachenko for the winner of that fight. So I'm sure if he wins that fight, they're still going to call him the undisputed lightweight champion of the world because Top Rank, ESPN, they love to rewrite the narrative. I mean, they just did it this past weekend when Lomachenko was sitting ringside for the Artur Beterbiev Alexander Vasyl fight, and they had his record flashed on the screen. It was 14-0, you know, but you know, it's really 14-1 for those of us who are in the know. His record is 14-1, but they flashed it on the screen multiple times, not once, but multiple times, that he was 14-0. So they try to rewrite history. They try to spin narratives. That's what they do over there at ESPN, better than any other sports company in the world, and they'll continue to do that in this case. I have no doubts about it. But I feel really bad for Lomachenko because this is muddying up the waters. This is muddying up the waters because now, if he becomes the undisputed, you know, asterisk undisputed lightweight world champion, then okay, you now have all the belts, but now there's another guy who is holding the other half of your belt, or who is also a world champion in the same sanctioning body, and you can't just move up or move down without fighting that guy. And then Lomachenko might say, well, I don't have to fight that guy. I'm the undisputed champion, because that's what Top Rank is gonna tell him. That's what ESPN is gonna tell him, and that's probably how he's gonna feel. But you know, he has come out already, Lomachenko. He's already said that he has no issues facing Teofimo Lopez or Gervonta Davis or Devin Haney. He wouldn't mind doing all that. So, you know, good on him for that. But we know Lomachenko, he says a lot of things. I don't got to rehash what he said about Pacquiao in the past, but we know he didn't follow through with that, you know, and it's just bullshit, man. It's utter bullshit. I mean, and this is going to become a common trend in boxing, and it's going to make it that much harder to get undisputed champions. I mean, it's already hard enough as it is to get an undisputed champion because of the fact that we have so many sanctioning fees for these fighters that they got to pay to even fight for these belts. So most fighters, just from the financial standpoint, they don't want to be undisputed champion because that's $1 million you got to pay in sanctioning fees alone, and you can't blame them for that because you got a short period to do anything in boxing. It's a life and death situation every time you step in the ring, and if they don't want to pay $1 million or $2 million for sanctioning fees, then that's fair. That's totally understandable. But now with this franchise champion thing that the WBC is doing, it's really horrible. It's really horrible. It's going to muddy up the waters. It's going to create more confusion than there already is. And it's, you know, in this Boxing Scene article that I'm reading where they're talking about Lomachenko, they're suspecting that Deontay Wilder is going to be elevated as franchise champion when he scores, if he's able to beat Luis Ortiz in his rematch. So then does that mean that, you know, the next fighter, does that mean Dillian White, you know, gets to become franchise champion? And, you know, so it's going to cause a lot more confusion. That's what this is doing. And now, you know, you got Devin Haney on Twitter. You know, he's tweeting out there that he's the youngest world champion in boxing, and all he had to do was beat Abdullayev in his last fight and just sit around and do nothing, you know? And he can posture himself as that, and, you know, I'm not taking nothing away from Devin Haney. He's a great fighter. Like, he's a fantastic talent. I think he would have, if he would have fought Lomachenko for the belt, he'd have a great chance at beating him, unlike most people. I believe in Devin Haney, but it's not good for boxing. It's setting a bad precedent for fighters who get awarded for doing nothing. It's causing confusion amongst fans. It's causing confusion amongst clarity in the division. And why are they doing this? For the almighty dollar. They are doing this for the almighty dollar, and it sickens me, and it's pissing me off with how watered down boxing is becoming more and more by the year. So I don't know how we solve this problem in boxing, but we got to call a spade a spade. WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, all parties involved. You guys are making a mockery of this amazing sport. You guys are letting the bullshit of the business of boxing water down the greatest sport in the world, and I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. So hopefully, you know, these guys still want to fight each other. Like if Lomachenko beats the winner of Commey versus Lopez, then I hope he still is willing to fight Devin Haney. Or I hope that this doesn't ruin there being an undisputed lightweight champion, because there's a lot of factors. You know, Devin Haney's getting big for the weight. Teofimo Lopez is already big enough for the weight, so there's not a lot of time for a lot of these guys to continue making the weight. Lomachenko doesn't want to stay there much longer because he wants to move back down to 130. That's his natural weight class, and fight Gervonta Davis. So I'm not happy about it. You know, in Top Rank Boxing, they are actually screwing Lomachenko out, because even if he beats the winner of Lopez Commey, a lot of people there's going to be a big percentage of boxing fans out there that are not going to recognize him as the undisputed lightweight champion. I think that's a damn shame, because if he beats the winner of Commey Lopez, he should be recognized as that, but he won't. And they have done his career a big injustice. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.